So this isn't just a debate over procedure. On Saturday, the most powerful Democrat in the Senate, Chuck Schumer of New York, announced that Amy Coney Barrett actually stands, and we're quoting, against everything America believes in and stands for. Grotesque. Watch.
Just about everything that America believes in and stands for when it comes to issues like health care and labor rights and LGBTQ rights and women's rights. Judge Barrett stands against all of that. Justice Ginsburg must be turning her over in her grave up at heaven to see that the person they chose seems to be intent on undoing all the things that Ginsburg did.
So follow this reasoning if you can. Ruth Bader Ginsburg is, quote, turning over in her grave up in heaven. We must honor her final dying wish. That's the position of the party that's against cults. Yep. It's such a lie. And precisely because Democrats know that Amy Coney Barrett's life refutes the lies they have pushed on the rest of us for decades, they must destroy her personally. They have no choice. Her happiness, her family's happiness, is evidence that they are frauds. John Kennedy is a senator from the state of Louisiana. We're happy to have him on tonight. Senator, thanks so much for coming. Did you think that we would reach a point where Democrats would say out loud, we're going after her on her religious faith?
Well, I saw an indication of that in her confirmation for Court of Appeal position. You're correct. It's only Monday. So far, Judge Barrett has been called a religious bigot, a racist, an anti-feminist, anti-public health. Her opponents haven't gotten around yet to calling her an alien lizard person, but it'll come. Before it's over with, I'm afraid that they'll accuse her of drowning little warm puppies. That's not what this is all about, though. I think almost all of my Democratic colleagues know that none of these things are true. This is what they're upset about. Judge Barrett is a constitutionalist, which means she's a Madisonian, which means she believes in the separation of powers, which means she believes that federal judges are not politicians in robes, which means she believes that the United States Supreme Court is not supposed to be a mini Congress, which means she believes that federal judges are not supposed to try to rewrite the Constitution every other Thursday to advance a political or social agenda that they can't get by the voters, which means that she believes that the law is not supposed to be politics practiced a different way. And that upsets not all, but many of my Democratic colleagues, because they don't believe, well, let me put it in a positive way. They believe in declarative government as opposed to representative government. Not all of them, but many of them. In representative government, the people control policy through their elected representatives. In declarative government, which we've been moving toward, policy is made by unelected judges and unelected members of the administrative state. Another word for bureaucrats.
Yeah.
And Barrett believes that that should not be the case. That is, now having said all of that, I'm on the Judiciary Committee. Tucker, I'm going to do my job. Yep. I am going to test her. I'm going to probe her intellect, her temperament, her character, her judicial philosophy. But I've started reading her law review articles and her opinions, and it is clear to me that she's a constitutionalist. And that upsets a lot of my colleagues. Not all, but many of them.
Yeah. I mean, if you believed in democracy, that's what you'd want, I would think. Senator Kennedy, we will be watching you carefully, and Godspeed up there. Thank you.
Thank you.